How's it going, everybody? And before I really get started into the game Popeye by Parker Brothers for Atari 2600, let's just get started by saying here, it really holds a place in my heart because it was a game that we got early on. Now, this was a 1983 release for the Atari 2600, and we got our Atari 2600 Christmas of 1982. My brother got this game, so it means a lot to me. I've said it before, my videos are not a review. I'm not going to tell you to buy it or not buy it, try it or not try it. Just my feelings on the game itself, and you judge for yourself. Atari 2600 Popeye to me holds a special place in my heart because I really enjoyed this game when I was a kid. When my brother asked for it and he got it that year, it blew me away. People have their own opinions on it. To me, it looked like Popeye. Okay, so to me, it looked like Brutus. It looked like olive oil. There was Popeye theme in it when you grabbed your spinach. Popeye music when you first turned the game on and started it. I thought it was great. I loved the cartoon. It was Popeye, and sharing these moments with my brothers, with my sister too. She wasn't really a gamer that much, but I mean, sharing these moments with them, that was Popeye to me. I know a lot of people say otherwise, but a Popeye Atari 2600 meant a lot to me, and maybe that's why later on down the road, the game itself meant so much, and I wanted to collect it for every system. And the arcade version, later I got the board game and the card game based on the arcade cabinet. But yeah, it meant a lot to me, especially the 2600 release. I think it's a great game. Yeah, the second board is totally different than it is on every other version of the game, but it is still a really cool board. So I mean, there you go. It meant a lot to me to play this game, or watch my brothers play this game. We thought it was so cool when it was released. So without further ado, let's get to the rest of the video. But this game brings back a lot of memories. Atari's 2600 version of this 1983 release, Parker Brothers release for the home consoles. You know, for the certain systems. Of course, Nintendo did their own releases for the Famicom and the NES. But it meant a lot to me through all of these years because my brother got it. He asked for it that year. He got it that year. We played it, and I thought it was so great. So spending those minutes, those moments in time with my two older brothers, just great times. So this game will always be in my top 5. Probably in my top 2 Atari 2600 games, just because of those nostalgic feels and those times spent with my brothers, watching them play, them watching me play Atari 2600. I still have the original console. Love it so much. So without further ado, here we go. This is going to kickstart my Atari series of, well, not Atari series, my Popeye series that I've been meaning to get to since I've started this channel. So we'll start with the 2600 version, and each weekend here I plan on bringing out Popeye Arcade home ports, and when we'll wind it up, I guess, with the real Atari 2600 or the Atari Popeye arcade port. I'm just fumbling my words here, but here we go.
Say, has you heard the news?
Yeah, I want to tell him. I want to tell him.
The news is riveting, absolutely riveting.
What the boys are trying to say is that Parker Brothers Popeye, Cubert, and Frogger are not only available for the Atari 2600, but for the Commodore 64 home computer, Atari 5200, and ColecoVision. About as close to real arcade graphics and action as you can get.
One thing I hate such a pushy announcement. Popeye, Cubert,
and Frogger.
Also for all Commodore, Atari systems, and TI. Now's your nose. My toy. This new Popeye video game has the boys fighting worse than ever. Oh, Popeye. It's my game. It's got 3 screens just like the arcade. Watch out! Yikes!
Uh-oh. Fight like a man.
Where's me spinach? Yeah!
You choke, you wimp.
I ain't wimpy. I'm much better looking.
New Popeye video game available for most popular home video and computer systems.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
They got a million toys at Toys R Us that she can play with.
Play Parker Brothers Q*bert on your Atari 2600 for just $34.97. Frogger, $28.97. Popeye, $34.97 at Toys R Us. Also available for Atari 5200, ColecoVision, and Intellivision. Get in on the Parker trade-in rebate. Buy 2 select Parker cartridges, send proof of purchase and any old cartridge, and get $15 back.
How's it going, everybody? Time for another great Mr. Poestyle video. And that little introduction there, me fumbling my words and everything else, just expressing my love for Popeye. I absolutely love the 2600 version of this game because my brother asked for this. We got it. We loved it on our 2600. Ended up loving the original arcade version Nintendo made. And I think in other parts of the world, this was an Atari cabinet. You know, they had the rights to make the cabinet. But Nintendo, you know, made this game. And a lot of people know this. Originally, Nintendo was going to make this game, and they couldn't get the rights. From King Features Syndicate, they couldn't get the rights. So they ended up making Donkey Kong. You know, Donkey Kong was Brutus. Jumpman, later Mario, was Popeye. Pauline was Olive Oil. They couldn't get the rights, so that's how Donkey Kong came about. You probably know that already. It's common knowledge in the video game world. But later on, they did get the rights, and so they made their Popeye game that they wanted to make. And then it came out for home consoles, and Parker Brothers got the rights to do that for the home ports, right? For the most part. They did that for, I have it for the Atari 2600, which this is my brother's cartridge. And great shape for a Parker Brothers release. We're not peeling at all. We kept our cartridges in great shape. A lot of times, you'll see a lot of peeling on these cartridges from Parker Brothers for the 2600, for the 5200, etc. Not ours. It's beautiful. This is his game. And at one point, you know, my parents were getting rid of the 2600, and my brothers didn't want it. My sister didn't want it. I'm the youngest of 4. I got it. So this is his cartridge. It's beautiful, as it was the day that we got the thing. I mean, it looks pristine. So here it is. And yeah, this cartridge meant a lot to me. Now, in recent videos, just even recent with the last few weeks, I won't mention any names. I mean, they put it out there on their own videos, talking about different things. A couple different YouTubers that I know and love and watch constantly. One of them was talking about a controller that he makes. He was playing the Intellivision version for an Intellivision controller he makes. He talked about the 2600 version, and he said the 2600 version, you can't even tell it is Popeye, this and that. I mean, people say things, you know. Another YouTuber that I watch constantly and have watched for years, recently, I don't even remember why he talked about Popeye, but he said something about Popeye, Atari 2600, and said, oh, it doesn't even look like Popeye. Well, it does. It really does. You're looking at it now through eyes of a 50-year-old in the year 2023. Maybe you think it doesn't look like Popeye. Go back to 1983. I was 10 years old. I'm not sure exactly when my brother got this game. I'm assuming it was probably Christmas of '83. I can't remember. So I would have been 10 years old. Atari games, think about them at that time in 1983 when video games were fairly new on home consoles in your home. A lot of times your character was a square. Come on now. Now you had Popeye. It looks enough like Popeye. It looked enough like Brutus and Olive Oil. You had music at the beginning of the game when you first started it. When you grabbed your spinach, which, yeah, it was a rectangle. It was a flashing rectangle. It was your spinach. You had imagination enough by that point to know that was your spinach. It looked like Popeye. So guys saying now that it didn't look like Popeye, yeah, compared to other home ports, 5200, ColecoVision, and television, didn't look as much like that there. You can make it out in the 2600. You want to see a version that didn't look like Popeye and Brutus and Olive Oil, take a look at the Odyssey 2 version. I do have that. That'll be coming up in my series. I'm very happy and proud to have it in my collection. I bought it at one point. I'm glad to have it because the Odyssey 2 didn't have very many arcade ports. They do have Frogger and Popeye, and they don't have very many things like that. I have the Magic Atlantis that I just recently got for the Odyssey 2. Those are harder to get. You know, they were South America, Brazil, I think, releases. There are some North American releases that are really hard to get a hold of. But you'll see when I get to the Odyssey 2. Maybe that's the next one I'll do. No, those did not look like Popeye and Brutus and Olive Oil. The 2600 did a fair enough version of Popeye in them. It does look like them. You're looking at it from grumpier old man eyes, in my opinion, in 2023. You're 50 years old now. Think back to when you were 10, please. It looked enough like Popeye. It was enough to get me excited back in the day. I played enough of those games back then that whenever we popped in the Popeye, when my brother put this in, and the music played, that music is still stuck in my head. It was enough. Now, you didn't have the Sea Hag in it, but she was there in spirit, right? You caught a heart, a bottle was coming from off the screen. That was the Sea Hag throwing it at you. We knew that. We had enough of imagination that we pictured the Sea Hag. We watched Popeye all the time, especially during summer break. It was on early in the morning on one of our local channels. They played the old Popeyes early in the morning. We would wake up bright and early, and they would have Popeye and the old Hercules cartoons on. Hercules, you know, with Newt and all that stuff, if you remember that. They were on bright and early, and like the old Mr. Ed TV show and stuff like that would be on bright and early. Then we would go out and we would play with our action figures and stuff, and then when our friends finally woke up, we'd be running around the woods playing with them, or playing in the fields and football and playing with Matchbox cars on racetracks and action figures and going to the local pool and whatever, you name it. Summer vacations were the greatest, and we were staying up late at night and we were playing laser tag, everything you could think of, right? An Atari 2600 would work its way in there, especially on rainy days. Rainy days, maybe we would watch some game shows like The Family Feud and The Price is Right on TV, but we would find some time to play some Atari 2600 in between after that became a part of our household entertainment, and Popeye was right in there. Absolutely loved this game. Again, Popeye was a 1982 arcade release from Nintendo. Once they finally got the rights, the licensing from King's Features Syndicate. Syndicate makes it sound like an evil corporation. No, it wasn't. But now it's interesting to note that Parker Brothers 1983 release, Atari 2600, this is what we got. At the same time, it was being released on the Famicom over in Japan, which of course is a much better looking release that we got later on the 26, one of the first black box games on the NES over here, 1985-86 release on the NES. But again, one of my favorites, so you know, it's kind of hard to take my word for it. Just take a look at it yourself. Compare it to other Atari 2600 games. See what you think about this game. I love it. But without further ado, here's the gameplay, and then we'll get to the wrap-up. The wrap-up is going to be more of the same. I'm going to tell you ahead of time. I've been playing this game for 40 years now, and I love it. Not that great at it anymore. A lot better when I was a kid, when we had nothing else to do but play this game. But without further ado, here is Popeye, Parker Brothers 1983 release It's a beautiful game, okay? Use your imagination. It's not that far off. You didn't have to imagine too much. It looked fine enough to me. Stop looking at it from a grumpy old 50-year-old's point of view. Or even from a young kid who wasn't even born anywhere close to that time. A kid nowadays is going to look at it maybe and say, that's not Popeye. Well, yeah, this is a kid that grows up with movie-style, real-looking people graphics on their PS5s and their supercomputers now. They weren't around back then. Think about it from a kid that was 10 years old, 9 years old, 1983. Think about it. Really think about it, because it looked beautiful back then. You're not a dot running around on a screen, right? That was Popeye. Here is the gameplay. Okay, Popeye. Popeye on the Atari 2600. Now I'm playing on my Retron. Unfortunately, Parker Brother cartridges don't seem to like to play very well on the Retron 77. So I do have the ROM I'm playing here. But I do have the cartridge. But once again, I tried to put it in and confirm that Parker Brother games don't want to fire up on the Retron so well. So playing the ROM here again for the video. Using my Retro Boys controller joystick. And Nacho is sniffing around. Hopefully he doesn't unplug my Retron. I'm messing around by the power strip right now. That's the Sea Hag. You don't see her in the 2600 version, but that's her according to the instruction manual from what I remember. Don't have the instructions anymore. This is my brother's original cartridge from way back then. That's her throwing bottles at you every time you catch a heart. I think I still got my timing down for that. Oh, I spoke way too soon, huh? Nacho, settle down. Nacho's chasing the cat around. He's going to unplug the system, I know it. I have it stretched out across the floor here. I don't keep my Hyperkin plugged in all the time, so. On this version, Brutus, reaches up quite a bit. He doesn't reach down like in the other versions. Oh, I didn't see him throw that. Oh boy, I'm going to suck this first one up. And that, of course, is Nacho playing with his squeaky toy. Get a lot of Nacho in this video today. I swear to God, he's going to unplug the system. He's just running around everywhere. Oh, I got to get Bluto out of there. I'm going to let my heart drown. That's something we always like to do as kids. See there, if you hit the button while the Popeye theme, whoops, punched too soon again. Wow, I'm doing terrible. If you punch during the Popeye theme music, then you lose some of the music there because like a higher octave would always, I don't know. We were bored, we thought that was kind of cool. I think if you get score higher, at least in the original game, if you wait for the hearts to go lower. Wow, I'm doing actually kind of terrible. Nacho's distracting me. Not the sun in my eyes, but Nacho. Also, the other versions, you have the barrel up above it. You can punch over Bluto's head. And that's him throwing bottles at you when you get 3 in a row like that. Now he's going to stand there, and I need that heart before I die. If that heart stays in the water too long, I'll die. There we go. Now this is the second level, and this is different from the other versions as well. This version you have trampolines down there instead of a teeter-totter. And I'm dead anyway, so you didn't get to see it. The other versions you have one teeter-totter. You have Wimpy in that scene, and Sweepy. That's right, Sweepy, not Sweet Pea. It's Sweepy. I used to love the cartoon, and they put them on a lot early mornings. So summer vacation when I was a kid, me and my brothers would get up early. Before we ran outside to play with our friends, a lot of times we watched the old cartoon Hercules would be on. And Popeye early in the morning. And then sometimes the old TV shows like Mr. Ed. So we would be watching Popeye, Hercules, Mr. Ed, and then go out and play with our friends. Go out and play with our action figures. I think most of our friends were sleeping in for a bit while we were watching that stuff. And go ride our bikes and play in the woods and play whatever. Play until late night. Fun times, summer vacations were, man. But my one brother that's 2 years older than me, he was always up bright and early. We did a lot of sleeping out too, and tents, sleep out all summer long. Great times. Be outside playing with G.I. Joes and He-Man at 6, 7, 8 in the morning. But Atari became part of that mix too. And Popeye was a big part of that. When my brother, oldest brother, got this one for Christmas, I gotta freeze time here. I'm gonna die if I don't get that heart out of the water. So that's part of the strategy there. He asked for this and got this, and we thought it looked great. So you hear a lot of naysayers, and I just believe that that's people that are looking at this game through 2023 eyes. This looked great for an Atari game, so it has to be people that are younger, that weren't around when this came out, or people that are just now looking at it through today's eyes and not from back then, because we had a lot of games that didn't look like anything that they were supposed to look like back then. So when we got this game, you saw it and you were like, yeah, that's Popeye. You know, it looked like it. When he grabs the spinach, and even the beginning thing, we're like, that's Popeye's theme music. So we knew what it was. Sounded good, looked good. Okay, trampoline. Let me see, Brutus, Bluto. There's a whole story behind that, why they changed his name, and some people say that that's his brother and this and that. I can't remember which one's supposed to be in the game off the top of my head. Sorry. Try to look that up. You can see he can skate right across, so he can walk right across that gap. So. But it's different than the other versions. Like I said, there's no teeter-totter here. You got trampoline, which we were fine with. We thought it was pretty neat jumping across the trampolines. That dickhead's gonna stand there. I'm gonna end up drowning. That dickhead. Sorry about the language. Yep, see, he forced me into that death. I don't even know if I'll get to the ship. But yeah, he doesn't reach down in this version. In the other versions, he'll reach down and grab your ass. So. But you'll see that. We're going to do the series here, finally. I've been talking about it for a long time. And the versions that I have. Now, I do have a couple computer versions that I don't have the computers for. I just collected them. Just to collect them. So, sneaky. Who's an ass cheeky? Bam, to the moon, butthole. See there? Played with the music. There he comes. I'm gonna get myself in the same situation I was in before. I ran into that one. I don't know if we'll get to the ship or not here, guys. Probably not. These things, man, got real good at this game as kids, but not so much as an adult. And I do have the new, brand new 7800 version of this. Wow. Probably the best home port ever. Yeah, beautiful. I have yet to fire it up. I've seen lots of video on it. I still have it in the box from Atari Age. Just looks great. And with the Atari Vox adapter, you can keep high scores on it too. But it looks better than better than the NES version. So I'll include that. I think that's going to be what I'm going to do the next few Sundays here, are just different versions. Now you want to see a version that doesn't look anything like Popeye, that's the Odyssey 2, and I'm happy to have that in my collection. I got that a few years back, actually from Brazil or South America somewhere. I believe it's Brazil. Nacho, I swear, you chase that cat and unplug. Hi, Retron. You are so grounded. No biting. He keeps running right over that power strip. I got just nailed in the back of the head while I was looking at Nacho. Nacho, leave the cat alone, okay? You've known him for 2 years. You've lived in the same house as him. You've broke bread with him, you know. I don't understand. He's just fine with the girl cat. He's got to chase him every time he sees him. But yeah, my brother got this for Christmas that year, and we just played this thing for hours. Watched each other play it. Turns. And I fell in love with this game. And yes, those are hearts. They look like real human hearts. Not Valentine hearts. Real human hearts. Ah! Ah! Dickhead! Well, I'm gonna die now because that heart's been down there for too long. Shit. I was trying to grab the spinach to freeze the time, but Bluto, you son of a butthole, I'm never gonna get to the ship. Get away from that power strip. Nacho, I'm telling you. I'm stuck. To do it. I had to play with the music. The music. Go lay down, Nacho. You're making me nervous, boy. You got me killed. You got me killed, Nacho. You can explain that to everybody why I didn't get to the ships. Go on, explain. That's right, sniff your bum and lay down. Your bum stinks. See you later, Bluty. And yeah, haha, super fast. Superstar. Ah! Throw me another one. Throw me another one here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, baby. Throw them in your underwear. Don't be gross. Olive oil. Come on. Come on. I'm over here. Can I make it? Yeah. Alright, she's getting a little more wild with her throws now. You pinhead. What kind of throw was that? Oh! Well, see, between Nacho and Olivo, that's why I didn't make it. How long are we running here? We're already over 14 minutes into the gameplay. One more try. But anyway, in the ship part, originally she spells help, or she throws the letters help. In the Atari version, she just throws X's, not the letters for help. You butthole. Like I said, we thought this looked great, so really, I don't know. Gotta disagree with others. Let's say that's not Popeye. It's definitely Popeye. You can see the pipe, you can see the forearms. And like I said, wait till my Odyssey 2 video. That's something to see. And this is music that's been stuck in my head since the day we got this game. Me and my brothers will still do this music when we get together. There's a few of those. This, Kangaroo. Certain games, the music will stay with you forever. Had to do it. I'm not sure which one I'll do next, though. I'll probably save the 7800 version for last. Since it is a homebrew, it's not an official release anyway. Can play the Commodore one on my Commodore 64 Mini. I don't have the official cartridge or floppy or whatever for it, but I do have it for the 5200. I have it for the ColecoVision. I have it for the NES. I have it for the Odyssey 2. I have it for the Intellivision, so we'll get to those cartridges. I have a bunch to cover. Bluto, I hate you. I hate you. You just stand there right in the way. Slug. Frickin' slug. You're gonna block me. Jerk! Fat ass. Oh, dick. I'm dead. No, dick. 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 Whoa. Holy glitch. Oh. Used a lot of the bad words in this video. Didn't mean to, but Pluto was being a dick. Olive Oil was being an idiot. Ah, I hate you. Yeah, okay, well that's it, you know. These guys are being a-holes. Nachos being annoying. Happy Memorial Day. I love you. And there you have it. That is Popeye Atari 2600 by Parker Brothers 1983 release. I did switch hats since we started here. Memorial Day. Actually, when I finished recording this, it's Memorial Day. I'm not getting this out here till after now. Ran a little late, had to do some stuff with some family, had a little camera issue while I was recording, so didn't get it out there on Sunday or Monday Memorial Day like originally planned, but that's neither here nor there. Great game, absolutely. Still love it today as much as I loved it back when I was 10 years old when my oldest brother, got this game. You've noticed the second screen there is not like it is in the other releases. It didn't have the teeter-totter. It was the trampoline screen, right? So, not one teeter-totter, two trampolines. It's a little tough. If you get stuck on the bottom there and Brutus comes down, it's a little tough getting out of that situation. And as you noticed, I didn't get to the third screen, the ship screen, where normally in the other versions, Olive Oil sends down the letters help. And the 2600 version, she just blows you a kiss or sends you down an X. You're supposed to collect the X's, but didn't get that far in this one. We will continue on with this Popeye series, like I said. I have the other ports that I would like to show to you. Like I said again, a game that's near and dear to me. So I'm excited to continue on and show you what I have as far as the other ports go. And I also have the board game and the card game. So if I can't actually show you how we play it, that would probably be kind of boring. Maybe I'll just, also probably boring, but hold it up and show you the game pieces and everything. I might have a video where I actually did that somewhere. I think I might have an older video somewhere where I showed you the whole collection here at one point. I don't remember if I did that or not. But yeah, really enjoyed that game back in the day. And to me, it looked like Popeye back then. It still looks like Popeye compared to other Atari 2600 games where you didn't really look like what you were supposed to portray in the games. Yeah, it looked like Popeye, it looked like Brutus, it looked like Olive Oil enough to me as a 10-year-old kid 40 years ago. Popeye, a Nintendo game brought to you by Parker Brothers on your Atari 2600. I say play it, get out there and emulate. Again, if you have a Retron 77, put it on an SD card and play the ROM. Physical cartridge, the Parker Brothers games, I can't get them to work on my Retron 77, but I do have original hardware down in my game room, so I can play this on my Atari 2600s down there. Most of the time I try to play them on my Retron upstairs because of the lighting situation I have. I can get the upstairs living room a lot darker than I can get the game room for filming purposes, but yeah, love it. Popeye came out in '82 for the arcades, 1983 for your 2600. Great game, had a ton of fun playing this. Hope you had a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend, and thank you for joining me for another great Mr. Poestyle video, and I hope you come join me for the rest of my Popeye presentations in the coming weeks. And during the weeks here, I didn't get to my Dredge Monday. We'll get to that this week. Dredge coming up, more PlayStation 5 fun. I've been checking out the Atari Recharged games. So far we've done Centipede, Missile Command, and most recently we have done Black Widow Recharged. And we've done some Atari 50 on the PS5 as well. Just did the original arcade version of Black Widow from Atari 50 on the PS5. We're also doing Dead Island 2, continuing on through that, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It has been probably a week and a half, 2 weeks since I've continued on in that. I need to get to that. So, and Pinball FX, doing some of that too. So usually during the work week I'll grab something on the PS5 just because it's easy for me to pop that in there, and I'll either play live or I'll just play real quick and then upload a video from there during the week. And we try to do our retro games on the retro systems on the weekends. So check that out. If there's another system you want me to play, I got a bunch of them down there, guys. So the 32X, the Genesis, the Sega CD, TurboGrafx 16, I have it. Did I say NES, SNES? It's there. The 5200, the ColecoVision, the Intellivision. If there's something you want to see, let me know. I can probably make it happen. Got a lot of games sitting around just waiting to be played, so suggestions down below. And as always, check us out for the show, Coin Up Consoles and Pinball with G. Parker's Arcade Room, Off Grid Arcade, the Gaming Road Warrior Mike Seeby, and myself, Mr. Poestyle, every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 o'clock Pacific, not specific. We're here live to talk pinballs and consoles, coin up games, you know, arcade type stuff, make fun of each other, laugh and joke, and talk to you guys in the chat. Whatever you want to bring up, we'll talk about. So join us every Sunday night for that. We have a ton of fun doing that, just a bunch of guys shooting the breeze. Thank you for joining me. I hope you will join us on the next one, and join us every Sunday night. We love that. We have a ton of fun with that, guys. Popeye. What can I say? Definitely in my top 5. Probably my top 2. Yeah. Top 2 Atari 2600 games. Check it out. Play it. And we'll see you on the next one.